Hi there. In this video, I will show you how to test an NPN transistor to see whether it's working. In our example, we will use the BC107 NPN transistor. Now, first thing first, we must identify the legs or terminals of the transistor. Now, from the datasheet bottom view, we know that there's a protruded tab here, and the leg nearest to the tab is the emitter. So you can see right at the top here there is a protruded tab, and the legs, this one, nearest to the tab is the emitter. And going clockwise, this will be the base, and this one will be the collector. Now essentially, a transistor consists of two diodes. Okay, one that is across the base and collector, another same thing across the base and emitter. Now theoretically, the reverse resistance of the transistor will always be very high, infinite, and the forward resistance will be 10 to 20 ohms. So if you do measure the forward resistance, okay, between the base emitter or the base collector, you will get some things like 12 ohms, maybe the other one, 14 ohms. Now these are the theoretical value. So we will proceed ahead to measure using an analog meter to confirm whether this NPN transistor is working. We will be using the Sanwa analog multimeter for our measurement. In this case, we will use the ohm meter function. And the scale we'll be using is ×1. Now before you use the analog meter, we have to do this process known as zeroing. So we will short the leg, and we will perform the zeroing here and make sure that this is at 0 ohms, right here. Then we can start to use this to measure the base collector and base emitter. Now first thing first, we shall put the black color of the probe to the base of the transistor. So the base of the transistor, in this case here, will be this leg. And we shall now measure the base and emitter forward resistance. As you can see, the meter is now showing about 15 ohms. So that is the forward resistance for base and emitter, about 15 ohms. And we will switch this to base and collector now. And you will realize that the base collector forward resistance is also about 15-16 ohms. In this case, we will just write 15 ohm. So you can see that the forward resistance usually fall between 10 to 20 ohms. And in this case, our BC107 NPN transistor, both the base emitter and base collector forward resistance, they are 15 ohms. Okay, and to measure the reverse resistance, we shall now put the red probe over to the base. And when we clip the black to the emitter, you realize that the meter is not moving. So technically speaking, the reverse resistance for base emitter is infinite. And when we switch the black to base collector, you realize that the reverse resistance is still at infinite. So with these resistance values, we realize that the BC107 NPN transistor is working fine.